Okay, so it says we're live, and we were talking about floaty potatoes, and I don't
that could mean a lot of things.
I know I don't mean poop, even though they look like poop. I mean manatees.
They look like giant
Little
floating
sea
bratwurst. Sea cows.
So Karat, we had talked about manatees before, and she's like, I see them all the time in my backyard. I don't really feel the need to go swim with them. And I'm like, I would swim every day if there were manatees in my backyard.
I mean, I probably touched one when I was little or something, because like I live right by a river. So
wait,
like,
you said you probably touched one, but you don't remember?
Yeah, I know. To you, you're like, how could you possibly forget something like that?
I know. I would never forget that. That's like incredible.
I had a lot of head trauma. I forget a lot of things.
Okay. I guess
you went head first into a manatee. Those things are dense. They're giant bricks.
I love them. I found it. Hey, Mark, I found a new animal I like. I like wombats.
Well, I saw you're posting them all over the Facebook because there's that one thing was like Wombat Awareness Fan Club or something. So I was like, well, they're doing their job. I'm now aware of wombats.
Have you seen a wombat, Karat? So they look like Okay, if you see a video of a wombat, not just a picture, it looks like someone is playing Wombat Simulator and they're just trying to figure out the controls. Because wombats like turn around in circles a whole lot, and it doesn't look real. It looks like it's CG. So I was just watching all these wombat videos, and it was just really, really entertaining to me.
Someone posted one on YouTube or something. It was this wombat that it got stuck in the corner where like two fences meet, and it could have just like turned around and walked the other way, but it was like, nah, I think I'll just take a nap right here. So it just went to sleep in the corner of the fence. And like, oh, you stupid animal, how are you still alive? How did natural selection not kill you?
Same way the panda's still alive. Humans take pity on them, and then we end up coddling them. It's so great. Anyway, so our topic for tonight is this is actually our thank you stream, I guess. So I don't know if we're going to do one when we close the campaign, the pre-order. And the reason why is because honestly, our milestone that we hit is just getting the funding, which is just $2,000. There's only two of us. So it's just Mark and I, and that pretty much just covers our operational expenses. So for us, the milestone is just being able to meet that. And once that's met, everything else is gravy. But we have noticed over the last few weeks that some YouTubers and some critics have really been wanting us to hit 50K. Like that's considered to be a pretty big milestone, especially for two guys who are not of the industry. We don't have a huge platform. I mean, right now it's great. We get an average of 15 viewers, which is about what we have right now. And that's wonderful. I mean, we like all of you. So I think to a lot of people, there were some eyes on this project because it was like, no, we want these guys to hit that number. That would be really cool. And we hit it. We hit it as of, I think, last night. The Comic Book Cut was the first one to point it out.
I woke up this morning, and the first thing I woke up to was a tweet from Comic Book Cut saying, you guys hit 50K. And like, we hit 50K while I slept. Oh, I missed it. It's like sleeping through a New Year's Eve, where you fall asleep at like 11:30 and you miss the ball drop. Like,
right. It's like, oh, it's a
But you know what they say? Sweet dreams are made of these. That's
who am I
what
to
it is.
disagree?
Those are the sweet dreams.
Yeah. And so we just wanted to say thank you to, there's too many people to count. I mean, we have Karat in here because, and I see Bean from PA, she's been one of our biggest supporters from the very beginning. So she says, who is Karat? Sorry, I've been out of touch. So Karat, if you bought the first volume, she's actually a character in the book, but she's actually a real person. So she's our friend, and she's it's very rare, I think, in this field to meet girls who are normal. I mean, I know that sounds kind of strange. I mean, Bean is normal, Cheyenne is normal, Vicky is normal, so we know a handful of them. But she's also an artist, and that's a strange combination because we encounter a lot of, don't get me wrong, we encounter a lot of weird dudes, but having girls around who are pretty cool and chill that you can talk to is really neat too. So she's a character in the book, she's a journalist, but she also contributed all that really cool art in the back of the book.
I'm not actually a journalist, I just play one in the comic.
Yeah, you're our discount April O'Neil in our Black Ops.
Just so be warned.
Yeah, I mean, I think she has more journalistic integrity than CNN. So, I mean, I think that counts. for something. So those are her credentials. She is in volume 2. So if you back the book, you'll see her in there. She has some art that she contributed, but she's not. Her art is not going to be in this volume. It's going to be in volume 3. We received so much fan art that we had to allocate between. Actually, it's between 3 volumes that we're going to have to do it for. So you can.
It's a good problem to have, though. Is too much fan art. You can never have too much fan art.
I wish you guys had enough to put together like a Kamen America art book. Like, you know how in video games sometimes they come with those little books that have like a little bromide gallery?
Oh, right. Yeah, I got one of those for Soul Calibur 2 like 50 years ago, and that was a brand new game on Nintendo GameCube.
I feel like between all the different artists that are within this community, we should try to put together something that like that way you can, or to like contribute to like a Kamen America fanzine or something, you know, where there's like an aggregation of different themed Kamen America stuff. Yeah. I don't know.
I think we need to get a few more volumes out so people have more stuff to draw than just like the 2 characters. let's earn that.
Big picture. I'm big picture, Mark.
Right. And not
years down the line.
Some people, I think they just like the aesthetic, because I've gotten some DMs from some of these people who have contributed art, and they're like, I just read the book. I didn't know she has lightning as an ability. And it's like, oh, so you just made art not knowing that, but it worked. I mean, heck, I'm not going to complain. That's for sure. But there's just so many people that we can thank and that we want to thank. I mean, obviously we have the Compo Cut, because he's been rooting for us for a long time, for about 2 years now. And we have Thinking Critical is another one. So Wes is very kind. He's had us on a couple of his streams as contributors. And I think as long as we contribute to his channel, he's more than happy to showcase us. And I think it's not necessarily because of any type of friendship or loyalty, even though it's part of it. I think he's told us several times that he knows that our books are finished, which means that it's a square deal. You pay us and we're going to give you a product. There's no waiting or anything like that. We have the Roy Loop brothers, obviously SWC. They got deplatformed recently, so they're nixed off of YouTube. If you guys want, make sure to check out their stuff on Comixology. They have literally #1, which is up there. They have Villains of the Snow Sea, which is on Amazon. I think you can get it in both versions, Kindle and in print. We have DA Talks in the chat, and he's had both of us on, as well as Vickyverse. We have Skinny, who has his own book, which is Otis Stein, which is available on Indiegogo for the time being. We have Doug Garrett, who is the publisher of Gravestone Press. He does all of our music for us. And I make sure to pay him upfront, plus a royalty for all the times it's downloaded as far as physical copies are concerned. And he's been really chill. But what I've always enjoyed is over 2 years, this is grassroots. We don't have any major support. We do have one fairly prolific YouTuber, which is just some guy. And we don't ask him for an endorsement. If he likes our work, he'll talk about it, but we don't know the time or the place. But a lot of our readership does come from him. And so I would be remiss if I didn't thank him for getting us to this milestone as it is. So if he's listening out there, I want to say thank you. Same thing with Douglas Ernst. He's a good friend of ours, but he does not showcase books at all. That's not the purpose of his channel. But he will talk about them in conjunction with things that we work on for him. So there's been a couple of occasions where he's been nice enough to do that. Right. I don't know, Mark. Man, there's just too many people.
There's a lot of people who supported us. I mean, you mentioned Cheyenne earlier, but she's been retweeting our both this and the Black Ops 3 campaign on Indiegogo, which has 5 more days, people. But she's been retweeting those every day. Like she's been doing so much to help us out. So I really appreciate all of her help. And of course, you mentioned like Vicky and Skinny and basically everybody in our circle who's been helping us. And we try to retweet their stuff. Like Skinny's got Otis Stein. If you want to look that one up, people, Otis Stein is out there. That's a really cool looking book. It's a horror book. And Skinny's going to be on the Bunderdome, not this coming Monday, but one of the Mondays here in October. And he's going to talk horror with me. But yeah, we just got a ton of people. And that's the other thing, though, is I know this is called the 50K Kamen America stream, but we're more excited about the fact that we actually went over 1,500 backers, which is a new record for us. We've got currently 1,586 backers on Kamen America 2, which is huge for us because we measure the worth of our project more in the number of people who are backing it than the dollar amount, because the number of people backing it means that they're if that grows, it means that they liked the previous volume enough to come back for more, and they brought their friends with them, and that's really exciting.
Yeah, and then we have Hervoge in the chat, and Hervoge prolifically makes sure to put links out in different channels and stuff. And again, these are just normal readers, and this is the crowd that Mark and I came from. I put an update out a few hours ago, and I said that the thing that we're most proud of is that we're not of the industry and we're not from the industry. We are readers like you guys are. And anytime we can even make small gains as far as our readership is concerned, that's huge for us. And to see that growth, I mean, there's not really anything to put into words. We're happy that, I'm assuming we're not gaining this through our celebrity.
Celebrity?
What celebrity? We're gaining this because you like.
Who are you?
Yeah, right. People know Karat better than they know us.
We're no
Hardly.
one. I know, and if I could talk about floaty potatoes all day, I would. But
Karat, what you need to do is you need to get yourself an anime avatar and just start playing video games, and you'll be a millionaire between now and December.
That sounds like a lot of work. I'm gonna pass.
It's a lot of work. You just gotta play Minecraft. You already play Minecraft.
I've actually been doing stuff that haven't been like negative time sinks. I've been improving skills, like crafting skills.
Oh, that'll never get you anywhere. Play Minecraft.
What have you been doing for the last few months, Karat? I know the last time we talked earlier this year, before COVID hit. Oh crap! Am I allowed to say that on a stream?
Oh, what? You got to deplatformed with the COVID and the Wu flu and the Kung flu.
No, you're just gonna get like get the facts about at the bottom of the video.
Yeah. Boy, that's even worse.
So have you been unlocking level achievements, Karat?
Oh no, I haven't done anything. I played like 300 I played 600 hours of Animal Crossing, and then I got kind of burnt out, and then I drew a bunch of stuff, and then I got burnt out, and then I started crafting stuff, and I'm like ADD when it comes to my artistic stuff. It goes all over the place.
I saw you close your commissions.
Oh yeah, because I've been crafting and I have very little space to work with, so I don't have anywhere to put my tablet.
Oh.
I have like a UV resin lamp and all of my clay stuff spread out across my room, and I have like a fold-out table set up, so I don't really have room to draw this second.
We need to commission you to make Kamen America custom dolls, like 2 of them.
I want to do sculptures and stuff. I love sculpting. It's so fun. And I feel like it's preparing me for when I get like a better computer and I start doing 3D modeling stuff in Blender. I think it'll help me with that.
Ooh, yeah. We'll definitely hit you up.
You can make our lewd anime girl PVCs for us.
No
thanks. No lewd.
There was so the first campaign we did was Trump Space Force, and this guy, I think he still is. He's a really famous not kit basher, what do you call him? He's an action figure customizer. He was really big in the 2000s, and his name was Jim Sautome. But the thing is, you cannot commission him to do anything. If he likes something, he'll reach out to you. And he was like, hey, I'll make you an exclusive a Space Trump figure. So he made a one-of-a-kind Space Trump figure. Yeah, and we sold it for, I think it was like $1,000, but it wasn't me. There was some lucky buyer out there who really wanted it. So he has like a one-of-a-kind. So I just thought, man, if Karat makes like 2, one she keeps for herself and the other one she sells, I'd be more than happy to do that. I mean, I've seen the quality of your sculpting for like your heads and stuff. It looks really good. So I'm giving you the offer.
I'm just like beginning, so it's still kind of crappy. And I'm still experimenting with like mediums, and I have to learn how to make molds and a whole bunch of other stuff on top of the fact that we're also building like a tiny home. So while we're doing, until we get that finished, I won't have like an actual studio where I can do work. And I want to like record the processes of working through all these different mediums, because I've always been like a mixed media person. Like I draw because it's the easiest and most portable thing that I could possibly do creatively. Like all I have to do is take, like if I wanted to, my iPad or something, and I could draw anywhere, or a piece of paper or whatever.
And you're good too. I mean, like your art is fantastic.
With sculpting and sewing and cross stitch and wire wrapping and all that stuff, you have to take like giant work boxes with you, and it's such a hassle. So
it's like when I was 6 and I had to take
Master of None for sure.
There was
so it's like Tim just keeps not letting me talk about my Legos.
I'm
going to talk about my Legos. I was going to talk about my Legos, but okay. No, Tim, you go on.
No, I
want to hear about your Legos.
No, I was going to say real quick. I was just going to address the chat. So the other one I don't want to miss out on is General Grudge. He buys and reviews our books. And like I said, there's a lot of really small like YouTube channels that do that. And that's really cool too. I like that because some channels are so focused on people who make 6 figures on their campaigns that they do ignore kind of the smaller creators like us. So anytime we can get someone to do that without us asking, that's really cool. Brian Ball, he's been with us from the very beginning. Obviously, he's the creator of Rags. He's the writer, kind of a co-plotter, co-creator. And we've been exchanging a lot of art, a lot of advice over the years. I helped talk them into doing crowdfunding for his books, which
take all the credit. Why don't you? Sure.
No. It's the fact that he's already done. Now, the only place I'm going to take credit for is he was going to launch on Indiegogo. And I said, you should go on Kickstarter first. So he and I had a phone call and I explained it to him. And I even predicted the number he would make on the first day. And sure enough, he made that number on the first day. And I think afterwards he said it was like an Asian stereotype. And I was like, no, my math is actually pretty bad, but my statistical analysis is actually pretty good. My number crunching and my budgetary analysis is actually pretty spot on. And then here is a Draw and Talk. I don't want to forget about you, Tyler. Draw and Talk. Oh, that sounded really deep. It's more like
really good time. Draw and Talk.
Great channel. Really good content, really entertaining. He can sing too. He can sing a whole lot better than me. So make sure to check him out as well. Brian Ball says, get me in, coach. Brian, I would love to, but we're actually going to skedaddle in about 20 minutes because we got to go on Eglinton's stream to talk about Disney World.
So we also have Full Custom Hot Dog in the chat. And just like Skinny, he's going to be one of the people talking with me on the Bunderdome about horror. So every Monday in the month of October at 8 p.m. Central Time, the Bunderdome will be doing a horror stream. On the 5th, so this coming Monday, Nasser Abadi is going to be on to talk public domain horror. The following Monday, the 12th, Alex from Kursova is going to be on, and we're going to be doing our top 5 and bottom 5 Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes. So if you're into that, he'll be there. On the 19th, Matt Veely, Skinny, is going to be in, and he's going to be talking to me about B-movies and Mystery Science Theater. And on the 26th, Full Custom Hot Dog is going to be in, and we're going to be talking bullshit Italian horror sequels, like their Jaws 5, or their Terminator 2, or their Alien 3. So that should be a lot of fun.
Kaza Rider 14 says, when are we shipping the books? So the order goes out next week. And here's the tough thing. I've been tracking our analytics. And the hardest part I'm having right now is the prediction, because we're tracking at 97 backers a day. And I think that that's overinflated. I don't think it's going to be that much until we get to the very end, when there's always a rally for people who are late. So the problem is that I'm in that position where I don't want to under order, but if I over order, the expense will be, way too much. The fulfillment company, Iconic Comics, they're very optimistic. They think that it doesn't matter if we over order because we can sell out either through Indiegogo or through our website. So that's the tough part. Right now, we're looking at 12 to 16 day shipping turnaround, which means that in the process from which Kickstarter sends me the funds, which I will repeat again for this channel. I say it all the time in the updates. I know people get sick of it. People always think that the digital proofs and the books go out the same day that the campaign ends. It's not true. Kickstarter takes 14 days to send you a payment from the time your campaign ends. In that time period, we can't ship books out because obviously if we're not getting paid for what we order, then we're not going to send a product out. So we wait 14 days, we get the books in, and then the books go out. And with Black Ops 3 and the Omnibus, they went out within 72 hours of the campaign sending us our money. So we have a pretty quick turnaround. This year alone, we've either been ahead of time or on time for every fulfillment. And
an angry reminder for all of you Kickstarter people, we can't ship your book until you fill out the survey to confirm your address. We have that a lot. So please make sure to check your email once the Kickstarter closes. If you don't see an email from Kickstarter for the survey, check your spam folder. And if all else fails, just log into Kickstarter, check your profile, and the survey will be there. But you got to fill out that survey or Kickstarter won't let us ship your book.
There are 27 people right now on Black Ops 3 and Omnibus who haven't filled out their surveys. And I put a warning out on the update. I said, this is the last time I'm going to tell you. I feel like a nagging mom, but I'm like, I counted it, and I think I've already done 6 or 7 updates where I said, fill out your survey, fill out your survey. We still have all those people who haven't. I am not reminding you guys anymore. I do feel like even though we're all about customer service, I think on one hand, it is the customer's responsibility to keep up with that. I told this story last week, but I had a guy from the UK message me a few weeks ago, and he said, where's my Trump Space Force book? I'm like, buddy, that was 2 years ago. Like, I don't know where you've been, but we've liquidated like all of that. I don't even own a copy of myself. It's gone. So I don't know if he was mad or not, but that's why I put disclaimers now in all of our pre-orders. I'm like, hey, you have a time limit to get these books out. You have a time limit to contact us if something goes wrong. USPS tracking is only good for 3 months. Once that 3-month time window is over, there's nothing we can do. It's your word against ours that you didn't receive it. As far as USPS is concerned, it's shipped and it's sent and it's tracked. So I don't want to sound like a nagging hen or rude or anything, but that's just our policy. It protects us and it protects you, making sure that you can take advantage of our time window if there's any dispute or if there's anything that needs to be replaced for loss and damage and whatnot. So that's that. Cabbage Head, one, thank you too. You seem like, I think you're one of our regular readers as well, and we're really happy with the support that you've been giving us as well. And then Matthew Reese is in here too. He has a good channel called The Matriarchy that's on typically every Thursday night. And so it's what I like about it is it's a long stream. It's like 2.5 hours, but if you're at a table drawing into the wee hours of the night, it's good to have something long in duration to listen to. Woo! Jim Tuner, this is the last one I'll address and I'll go back to you, Mark. But Jim Tuner says, where is it? Because I think there's a really funny comment that he said. It was something about cryptids. Will there be any big words like cryptid in the Kamen America thing? So the joke is, and I didn't want to make fun of this because I think this person had good intentions, but I think this there was a reviewer who was reviewing our campaign, and what it boiled down to was, hey, I'm looking at this Black Ops campaign. Wow, they're not making a lot of money. Wow, like they've only made this much. And keep in mind, he's only looking at Indiegogo. So he's like, let's look through this and point out a few things. Oh my gosh, like what's this word cryptid? Like, how come you're not defining this word? Like you're making the reader do it. And I just thought to myself, like,
just assume your audience is stupid. That's the way you sell books.
I was like, I don't assume the audience is stupid. I assume that they know, because it's like, should I define what a meta-human is? I think most people...
You're already using the internet. Chances of you running across the word cryptid are very high.
Yeah, and the other thing is that, so the Indiegogo on Black Ops 3, we call that our last call pre-orders. So we do the Kickstarter first, and then we do a second limited round of pre-orders on Indiegogo for anybody who might have missed out on the Kickstarter. And that's just the last call for pre-orders. So Kamen America on Indiegogo is at a little over 13,000 right now, but it made well over 35,000 on Kickstarter. So Black Ops 3 and the Omnibus are around $49,000 right now. This is the $50,000 Kamen America stream, and we may end up having a $50,000 Black Ops 3 stream when the Indiegogo ends. But Black Ops 3 is doing just fine. So for anybody who's only getting part of the facts, we just wanted to let you know.
And he was like, why don't you use this hashtag? Like, hey guys, use this hashtag. And I just thought, this guy has not been around that long. I'm going to cut him some slack because I just think it's obvious that I think he's either part of a group or trying to ingratiate himself. So the part that I found, the only part that rubbed me the wrong way is that it was very much a, like, I know more than you guys type thing. It's like, and he might, I mean, I don't know, but I just think objectively speaking, he just didn't have all of his facts there. So c'est la vie, that, tends to be how it is. So what were you talking about, Mark, right before I interrupted you for about 6 minutes straight?
I was going to, no, the moment's passed. I was going to make a joke about Karat saying she has to bring a basket full of all of her craft stuff and saying it reminded me of when I was 6 and I'd bring my big bucket of Legos with me wherever I went. But the moment's gone, Tim. You ruined it. So I hope you're happy.
And yet you still told the story.
I did. The story of me and my Legos.
That's not where I thought you were going with it. I thought you were going to say that Karat was going to crochet me a manatee.
Oh, she should. She absolutely should.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, Karat, I could like sew one better than I probably could crochet one. Whatever. I'm awesome at everything. I could do it either way. It doesn't matter.
you just make a big gray ball and put
just a big lumpy ball. It looks like a rock with eyes.
Yeah, just sew them up. Yeah, just sew him a bratwurst and put button eyes on it and say it's a manatee. He won't know.
He'll just be overcome with emotions that somebody made him something at all.
Who else am I missing in the chat? Oh, Shane Plays is here. He's a good friend of ours. Would they rather you say cryptozoology? So I just assume that people know what a cryptid is because you have like Bigfoot. I mean, there's like countless Bigfoot shows out there.
It's like saying extraterrestrial and someone saying that we needed to put a definition for extraterrestrial on that. Like, well, most people know that extraterrestrial is just a fancy word for a space alien. Do we really need to have a definition for that?
Yeah.
But, I'm not going to harp on that guy's video all night, but it was just kind of like, come on, man.
Yeah, a lot of just low information type things going on. Sad. Oh, Josh the Animator's here. I don't want to forget about him. We had him. He had us on his show last Friday, and that was really cool.
Science Wizard Comics.
Yeah, Science Wizard Comics. Also, it's also SWC. It's not trademarked SWC. Put it that way. What's a cryptid? A cryptid is a creature of either legend or folklore or quote unquote real sighting. They tend
like
to
Bigfoot's a cryptid, the Mothman's a cryptid, the Chupacabra's a cryptid, like stuff like that. Stuff that's found commonly in folklore. Yeah.
We need to. This might incite a race to the patent office, but we need to trademark the name Cryptid Keeper, and it's like a zombie Bigfoot that tells scary stories to people.
Cryptid campers. Oh, Josh, so you bring up Ogopogo. I don't want to spoil anything, but that's a big one for next year. So I think a lot of people who don't know what Ogopogo is are going to find out.
What's Ogopogo?
So Ogopogo is the Canadian Loch Ness Monster, but he's better. So the Loch Ness Monster is just kind of like, hey guys, look at me. You want to take pictures of me? Oh, here I go. I'm under the water again. But Ogopogo actually has like, the legend behind him is actually like sinister. The Indians of the area, what they used to do was they used to take their canoes out into Lake Okanagan, and they used to actually like dump sheep and dogs into the water as an offering to the lake monster because it was like a carnivore. So it was actually like it was badass. And I remember when I was a kid, I had a book on paranormal stuff, and whoever drew that book had this kick-ass illustration of Ogopogo. He was massive. Like he wasn't just some stupid plesiosaur. He basically looked like a Chinese
Leopathodon. Okay. You can't see it, but I'm pushing up my glasses.
Wait, so what do you think? So when I think of the Loch Ness Monster, I think he's a plesiosaur because it's more pleasing to like my imagination.
The plesiosaur is more pleasing. Those are the jokes. Those are the jokes on the stream of Thunderdome.
What do you think it is, Carrot? You think it's a giant catfish?
No, a Leopathodon.
I'm gonna look that up.
I have no idea. They have the little fins. They're like aquatic dinosaurs. I don't think they have the long neck like the Brontosaurus, but I just remember them from the Charlie the Unicorn videos.
God, that's dating yourself, Carrot. Very good.
How do you spell this?
Leopathodon. Leop. I don't know. PLE thur THURODON.
Let me take a look.
That was probably painful. I'm sorry.
Oh, I remember this. This is the badass one from Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, it's
like a giant alligator thing.
Yeah, that was my favorite character in that movie because it ate the Indominus Rex at the end.
Awesome.
That was great.
No one ever suggests it's an ichthyosaur.
No.
And I only know that because of Dino Saucers. Dino Saucers had an episode where one of the bad guy dinosaurs, who was like a mutant plesiosaur, like hooked up with the Loch Ness Monster, and they had like a whole romance episode. It was really weird.
So Shane Plays says in Arkansas we have a smelly Bigfoot called the skunk ape. So Mark and I actually went to Folk, Arkansas to visit their like museum.
The Monster Mart, yeah.
Monster Mart. It's actually in a gas station, and it was exactly how you think it was. Awesome.
Florida has a skunk ape too.
Mm.
Yeah,
I'm
you guys
pretty
have a lot
sure.
of cryptids.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we do.
You have manatees are basically kind of like cryptids because apparently pirates used to think that manatees were mermaids.
They were delirious with scurvy.
Yeah, right.
Tis a beautiful sea fish.
It's the oasis they've been waiting for.
Sheep squatch. There's also bat squatch too up in Portland. Even though, like, I think bat squatch sounds cool, but I don't give it any credence because it was just some stupid hipster being like, "Hey guys, do you know what'd be funny? Bat squatch." And because I like out of it.
I like the Loveland Frogman just because like the drawings of him are so hilarious. He looks like one of the punk frogs from the 80s Ninja Turtle cartoon, just naked. He's always like running across the street away from the headlights like, "Oh shit, they saw me."
Oh, Champ. Champ is a good one. So Champ, that's actually one of the best photographs out there. I remember seeing it in one of these books, and the closest argument that people have to describing what it could potentially be is, so it looks like a head and neck sticking out of the water, but some people say it's not. They think it's a whale, and it's flipping over on its side, and what you're actually seeing is its fin, like the razor's edge of their fin, like making that shape. But that one's really cool. Davis Anovich, I want to thank you because you always pop up in these streams and in these chats and commenting, and I'm guessing also reading some of these books, if not backing pretty much all of them. I just think that's really neat as well.
Oh, one of my favorites is the Dover Demon because it's just an alien gray that walks on all fours, and I don't know like what the point of that is. Like, oh yeah, I saw an alien. Like, oh, big deal, but it was walking on all fours. Oh shit!
Have you heard of this one? So this is a relatively new one. It's called Big Nut.
Oh no, tell me about Big. Oh, you talking about Brian Ball? I've heard of him.
Yeah, that's Brian Ball's nickname is Big Nut. But it's also the name of a cryptid squirrel. So it's like a man squirrel that lives up in the Pacific Northwest.
You're talking about cryptids made up by hipsters. Well,
I know, but his name is Big Nut.
Big Nut. Well, yeah, you can't say no to Big Nut.
No, I mean I just think that just sounds really, really cool.
You're just desperate for a manatee cryptid.
Yeah, I am. I mean, isn't a narwhal essentially a manatee cryptid?
I guess it's the sea unicorn, you know? Someone pointed out that it's really weird that we can accept animals like giraffes, like those exist, but the idea of a horse with a horn on its head is ridiculous. And he's like, oh, no such thing.
Have you ever heard of a mirage? Miraj?
Maybe. Tell me more.
It's a rabbit unicorn. So it's a rabbit with a horn that's sticking out of its head, and supposedly it was owned by Alexander the Great.
I feel like I've seen like the caricature, like a caricature of that in video games, like as a monster that you would fight in like Final Fantasy or something.
It's always
or like Wild Arms.
It's a first level boss.
Oh, it's like the +1.
No, those are slime. Okay.
Yeah, slimes. Well, the Mirage and the Jackalope actually do have real world credence because there is like a fungal growth that make rabbits look like they have horns on their heads, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the Jackalope.
Yeah, the Jackalope. So like it's really sad when you see the pictures because it is an actual like weird fungal growth that's disabling and hurtful to these like jackrabbits, but it does make them look like they have horns.
I thought they were fake.
Well, they're also fake.
Like
yeah, they're like the Fiji mermaids, where people would take two skeletons and glue them together and then put them on display in their gas station.
I just remembered it from the Funniest Home Videos back in the day when they would have like the
Dave Coulier, yeah, and he'd be doing stuff like, "I'm the Jackalope, everybody! Oh, I'm on a skateboard! Oh, I'm causing mayhem and mischief! Oh!"
But he had like he did. Okay, I can do that voice, but I'll spare you. I love that show.
The David Coulier one?
The Dave Coulier, yeah. Oh, you make fun of me for pronouncing it Doug Tennepool, but you just pronounced it Dave Coulier, so you get out of here, Tim.
Well, how's it pronounced?
It's Coulier.
Coulier.
French.
Yes, French, Tim. I'm pretty sure he's from Canada.
The only difference is I've never spoken with Dave Coulier.
I had a tweet liked by Dave Coulier last week. I was so happy.
Real quick, and I'm gonna let Karat talk because we're gonna be on for another 5 minutes, and then we're gonna jump and skedaddle. I posted an update. If you guys want Kamen America t-shirts, we actually have those now. I've had this t-shirt store for years, and it just generates residual profits like every month. But people have been bugging me for t-shirts, so I was free to oblige. It's Genzoman's artwork, so it's good. It's not my artwork on any
which is bad.
So those are up there. So if you want to check them out, we had a lot of sales today on those, so I was really happy to see that. But my personal recommendation, if you buy a shirt from there, is do the ring spun ones, because the ring spun ones are super soft. You're never gonna probably go for another one. They're soft and they're stretchy and they're thinner. So if you like that as opposed to heavyweight like cotton, that's what you want. Anyway, Karat, since we don't have you on very often, I'm gonna let you talk.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, I don't know what you would want to talk about. Shit.
If you don't mention anything, I'm going to bring up manatees because that's all I can talk about with regards to the area.
Oh man, there used to be a really cool oddities place up like in St. Augustine, but I think it burnt down recently within the last couple of years. They had so many cool things in there, and I'm really depressed that I never got to go and visit.
Aww.
Like they had a bunch of John Wayne Gacy's paintings and stuff like that.
That's not what I was thinking about.
It would have been so cool to visit. Yeah, like, and they had like life-size gremlin puppets from the movie productions, and they had like all kinds of stuff, and like stuffed taxidermy models of jackalopes and that kind of stuff. But that would have been some place that would have been cool for Mark to visit. I think he would have liked that.
I've been head over heels for that. Yeah, I love that shit. That garbage. I love that trash.
I love that trash.
I have there's a, as far as the macabre and the morbid goes, that type of curiosity, Mark knows this, but I like, I can't put it into words, but it's like stigmatized property. There's actually a Facebook group that's really cool. I think it's called Know Where You Live.
Like haunted houses and stuff?
Yeah, but it goes beyond that. It's called like Know Where You Live or something. And basically it's run by this real estate person who will actually like post like pictures of of houses, and they look like normal houses, but he'll be like, this is the house where John Wayne Gacy killed so-and-so. This is he'll post like a picture of a parking lot and be like, this is the parking lot where Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment was. Like, so it's like basically like crime stuff, hauntings, stuff like that. So I really like the idea of that type of property. I think it's fascinating. Like,
you're like the Flanders kids in that episode where they move into the house where like people were chopped up, and like one of the kids like, look, Daddy, I'm a torso, and he's like on the ground. Yeah,
exactly. You know who's not in the chat, but I want to mention real quick is Nasser Rabadi. I know that he's been mentioning our stuff as of late, and we haven't had time to go. We haven't had time to go on his show because we're like working at work or out and about.
Yeah, he's got weird work hours. I was talking to him in DMs a little while ago. So the new job he's got basically has him at work in the middle of the day while we're at work, but he gets out before the rest of us do. But yeah, he's going to be the first one that I stream with. So this coming Monday on the Bunderdome at 8 p.m. Central, I'll be talking with him.
Yeah, I don't want to forget about him. And I know we're forgetting about other people. And if you're listening to this and we didn't mention you, I'm really sorry. But if names occur to us, I mean, we'll be streaming here in the next few weeks. So please don't think that we forgot about you. It's just that there's just such a slew of people. And it's really humbling that we just can't thank enough people. And it's not that you're not at the forefront of our minds. It's just really overwhelming. Like, look, there's one like Doug Tennepool. Right? Like I've already been on 2 of his shows, and as far as just general audiences go, I mean, between him and Just Some Guy and Wes from Thinking Critical, I mean, how could I forget about him? We even mentioned his name. I didn't even like occur to me. So, mea culpa, that type of thing. Anyway, Looking at stigmatized property real quick.
It's 8:30. We got to get over to England Teens channel.
I know, but I was gonna ask Karat, like, what's a haunted place in Florida?
Shoot. I don't really know much about Florida as far as like landmarks. There's no real haunted place that's by where I'm at.
There's one in St. Augustine. It's the lighthouse.
That's the only place that I would say is, and there's a fortress over there too.
Oh, is there?
So, and that's a museum, yeah, and they have a bunch of like old antiques and relics from like the Spanish American War.
No, before I forget, you have one that's even greater than that. So I can't believe I didn't even think about this one. It's the Artist House and Key West Museum.
Oh yeah, where Robert the Haunted Doll is.
Yes. So guys, if you want something that'll keep you up at night, do a Google search for Robert the Haunted Doll and read about the history of that. That is the story that inspired Child's Play.
Oh man, I gotta do it.
Have you heard of this?
I love dolls. No, I haven't, and I feel like a dummy.
Oh, was that a pun?
Well, hold on, Carrie. Let me see if I can find. There's a great little video from an older.
It's scary.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that.
Oh, I love it. I love the Annabelle movie. I love all movies with puppets and shit like that. I love Puppet Master is probably my favorite movie franchise.
Puppet. I watched Demonic Toys last night. You know that was written by the guy who wrote Batman Begins. It was better than Batman Begins too.
I was thinking about watching Ghoulies again. I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. I needed to find a new horror movie to watch tonight.
But there's let me tell you about it real quick, and for people listening who have never heard about it. So I'm trying to remember what the person's name was. I think it's like Otto or Robert. No, that's not Robert. It's Otto. There's this guy. He lived in a house that's called the Artist House in Key West in Florida. And when he was a kid, his aunt gave him a doll that he named Robert. And he dressed him up in a little sailor suit. And he had this little tiny like lion plush that he had attached to him. And he was kind of a creepy kid. And he would always tell people like, oh, the doll's alive. Like it talks to me. And so like his parents would see him like having one-sided conversations with this doll. But then like weird stuff would happen. Like they would hear a ruckus upstairs, but then they realized like the kid wasn't with the doll. Like the kid was downstairs. So they're like, what the heck is that noise? And so what happened was as he got older and, got married and stuff, and then eventually like passed away, long story short, the doll remained in the house. But as they were doing renovations in the house, like workers were scared to work there because they said like the doll would just like move on its own. Like it would just be in one room at 1 minute and then like in another room the next. And like the most widely circulated story was like school children would see the doll like peeking at them through a window and like moving on its own. So anyway, the Artist House closed. I think it's now a bed and breakfast, and they put Robert the doll in the Key West Museum. And in the museum itself, like there's rituals that people do. Like it's like you have to say goodnight to the doll before you close the lights. They tell people not to take photos of it in its glass case because like weird stuff happens, like your phone or your camera will die and stuff like that. And then they say like people actually write notes to the museum saying like, oh, I told the doll that he was full of shit, and the next day like my dog died or something.
Oh god.
and so
so Karat, I just sent you in the DM the short documentary that we're both thinking of. So watch that and it'll kill your sleep tonight.
Because the doll is creepy looking. Like it looks like
weird. Something an insane person would make.
Yes, it looks like something. It looks like someone took like a loofah and like put clothes on it and like put a sack on it and decided
it's not cute at all. Like, who would give this
like
to a child?
Or is it more like, no, I mean, this is really dumb? How could possibly anybody be scared of this?
That's the weird thing is it's in that kind of middle ground where you can tell the person who made it thought it was cute, and a lot of age has happened to it, so it's kind of like decayed a bit. So there are a bunch of really terrible Robert the Doll movies that they make in the UK. There's like 10 of them, and that doll looks ridiculous. It's like Annabelle, where like no one would actually make this for a child. It's ridiculous. But right. Robert the Doll, you can tell that there were the intentions of making it cute, but a lot of decay over the decades has turned it into like this weird zombie doll looking thing.
Yeah, watch it and let us know what you think in our private chat, Karat, because it is great. And you might want to make a pilgrimage down there just to see this thing.
Oh, man. I don't know if I could handle that. I can barely handle watching the movies. I just like that. It's the only thing that gets me creeped out because I like to make dolls. So, and play with dolls. Like, I'm a weirdo.
Well, it's kind of like Night of the Lepus doesn't scare me, and that's about like killer rabbits. I'm like, oh.
Well, those kind of movies, like I feel like that stuff's a little bit. I don't know. There's certain aspects, the psychological aspects behind it. Like I could never believe a killer rabbit would ever exist, but like something paranormal and possessing an object is somewhere in the realm of possibility. If it's on the fringes or whatnot, who knows?
The gift shop. The gift shop in Key West actually sells replicas of Robert the Haunted Doll. And I told Mark I was going to get one for him for Christmas. And he was like, you'd better not. Like, no freaking way. Like, that thing is creepy looking. I was like, oh, okay.
No, okay. I just want to get you a gift, but all right. Don't fuck me then. Sorry.
Anyway, we got to jump onto Eglintine's stream. So say goodnight to everyone. Jim Tuner, I want to thank you too. We don't know who you are. We're pretty convinced that you're just an AI. But you always show up in your bot.
You're the best AI.
Yeah. So we just want to say thank you. Karat, is there anything you want to close off on? Anything you want to promote?
Not necessarily. I haven't really been doing anything productive. I restarted my Instagram where I post my craft stuff, but that's about it.
Okay. Well, make sure to follow her there. It's Karat N Shtick on Instagram. I do have a link to her Twitter in the description for this video. Thank you guys again for getting us to this milestone and this benchmark. We still have about 14 days left to go on it, so we're not anywhere near done, but I'm going to be placing these orders for the book starting next week. Have a good night, everyone. Have a good weekend. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.